Howdy, hi. This is Dear Job Sports College Football Week 8 Picks and Predictions Part 2. We're going to get into the video. Let's go. Alright, so normally I would have a recap, but since this is Part 2, there ain't nothing to recap yet. So I got 5 games I am betting, and then I have 3 games I might be betting depending on some injury news and if the lines move up or down a little bit. So let's get into it. These first 2 games, one Mormon team we are fading, then we are backing a Mormon team in the second game. Game 1, I'm going to take San Jose State on the road, plus 3.5 at Utah State. This is purely a spot bet here. Utah State, they were playing on 5 days of rest, switching time zones, coming back from Hawaii. I do not think that is going to end well. San Jose State, 2-4 on the year. Lost last week on the road to Wyoming by 7, even though I'm pretty sure they had a double-digit lead in that game. Every single game they play is close. They've all been within 1 score this season besides their game at Texas where they got destroyed. They beat Idaho by 3. They beat Eastern or Central Michigan at home. This team is weird. I'm talking real weird. They have a top 50 offense but a bottom 50 defense. Every game they play is close. Their coach is good. They're a veteran team. Like, they could mess around and do something in the Mountain West. They just got to win out from here. I think they can do it. Utah State, not very good. Utah State, 3-3 on the season. They just lost 44-26 on the Big Island. Now you got to travel back home, and it's a short rest. They're having them play weekday game. Why? They were just at Hawaii. Why are you making them play a weekday game? What kind of travel spot is this? This is horrendous. I don't know why the university agreed to this. Probably because they're Mormons and they just get pushed over. Anyway, San Jose State plus 3.5 all day. Next game. Now I'm going to back the Mormons. Give me BYU again. We took them last week to cover at Arizona. They did it. Now they're catching points at home against Utah, who absolutely folded the one time they played a top-tier team this season. Give me the BYU plus 3.5. I think they win this game outright. Currently sitting at plus 135 on the money line if you want to hit that action. Utah, 5-1 on the year. Their only loss came at home to Texas Tech by 24 points. Last week, they did beat the absolute piss out of Arizona State, but that's a little bit fraudulent because they were without their starting quarterback, Levitt. So it's like, all right, yeah, you dropped 40 on them, but they had some injuries on defense. They didn't have their starting QB. Okay, whatever. Both of these teams do have really similar stats. Utah offense ranked 24th. BYU's offense ranked 29th. They both have top 20 defenses. These are 2 teams who don't get penalized a bunch. They're going to play good football. This is probably a tight game. BYU 6-0 on the year. They did just beat Arizona on the road in double overtime. I watched that entire game. Their freshman quarterback, Bachmeier, that dude is a unit. He's like 6'3", 200 and something pounds. You are not stopping him if he gets going downhill. Very disciplined. I like Satake as their coach. Their home environment is always lit. Holy Wars every single year delivers. I think we're going to see that here again. Give me BYU victory 28-24. Why not? All right, next game we got. We are headed to the ACC, going down to Miami. Probably the most exact opposite game between the Holy Wars and this. Give me the U minus 13.5. I think Louisville is the most fraudulent team in the ACC this year. If the season ended today, I think I would rank Miami over Ohio State in terms of AP poll. Miami's actually beaten decent teams. The best team Ohio State's played is Washington. It's like, okay, congrats, you beat Texas. Texas is some buns. Louisville, 4-1 on the year. Their only loss coming at home. Their previous game to Virginia, 30-27. Both of these teams are coming off of bye weeks, so fatigue, small injuries, they really shouldn't be a problem here. Cardinals, they average only 404 yards per game on offense. They give up just 262 on defense. That is kind of fraudulent, though. They didn't have the toughest of non-con schedules. They struggle when they're hit the road historically. Hard Rock is a tough place to play at. This arena is going to be rocking. Miami, 5-0 in the season. If we're talking combo of O-line and D-line, I think they have the number 1 in the country. Combine that with about as veteran QBs you can get with Carson Beck. Side note, he used to date a Cavender, so you can take what you want with there. They have a good wide receiver room. The only negative is that they have Cristobal as their coach. I am not a Cristobal guy. Every single year he loses one game. He has no business of losing. I'm praying it is not this game. I think Miami's going to kill him. Give me the U 35-14. All right, next game. It also involves a school from Florida, but this one's taking place on the West Coast. I'm going to take Stanford, 17.5-point home dog. The money line might be live in this game. Normally, I am not one to back Stanford, just seeing as though they've been a pretty bad football team for quite a long time. But this Florida State team is awful. If you remember last season, Florida State faced massive adversity. You had DJ Ugalele Lubaba, and then he went out for the season. Their entire team quit. Mike Norvell should have been fired. He wasn't fired. Now they bring in the Boston College transfer Castellanos. I think this team's going to quit again. They're 3-3 on the year, 0-3 in ACC play. They started off 3-0. They've rattled off 3 L's back to back to back. Their defense is atrocious. They've given up 46, 28, and 34 in their first 3 ACC games. If they lose this game, Mike Norvell 100% has to be fired. If I am a player at Florida State, I might lose this game on purpose. Like, there is potential. I would be willing to take a hit here, go 3-4 on the season, if it means Mike Norvell is no longer my coach. He's horrible. Now, Stanford, I already mentioned I really don't want to put my money on them, but I think I have to. They're not good. They've been bad for a while, actually, but I don't need them to win. I just need them to lose by less than 17.5. They're 2-4 on the year. Their wins coming, I think, on the road, or maybe it was at home against San Jose State, but that was by 1 point. And then they beat Boston College by 10. Boston College, probably the worst team in the ACC, maybe even the entire East Coast if you're just sticking to the shoreline. I think they get up for this game. There's not going to be many fans here. Is anyone at Stanford excited that Florida State is coming into town? No. But why is this game happening? This might be the dumbest game of the week. Florida State at Stanford. Both of these teams' seasons are already over with. Arguably, their coaches are going to get fired. Why is this taking... Can we just not simulate this like in Madden? You just hit sim next game and you just move on? Final game, we're going to end it with some action. Then we'll talk about some games I almost pulled the trigger on, but I couldn't get to a few of them. Kent State on the road at Toledo. No spread here. I'm just going to rock the over 51.5. Kent State already has 2 wins this season. I did not think that would be possible. Toledo, they just lost an absolutely brutal game in their rivalry against Bowling Green. They were up 21-0. They ended up losing, 28-24 or something? And then Kent State hung 40-plus points on the University of Massachusetts. I think we're going to get a big bounce-back resurgence game from Toledo. Kent State should still be able to score. They have a really good quarterback. So Kent State 2-4. That quarterback I just mentioned, true freshman. Actually, maybe not true freshman. I don't know if he redshirted. His name is Drew DeShields. He's from Ohio. He will not be in Ohio next year. This dude will get picked up by a team who can actually pay him money. Their offense, they've had 14 points 3+ times this season. That doesn't sound like a great accomplishment, but that is massive for Kent State. I mean, they were scoring 0 points basically every game for the past 3 years. Their defense, they are still atrocious. They're ranked 132nd in the country, but at least they can score. Toledo, they've had a brutal start to MAC play. 1-2 in the conference so far. They were picked to finish runner-up behind Ohio. This could get real ugly real quick. Their losses were against Bowling Green and Western Michigan, both on the road. Last home game they played, they beat Akron 45-3. They should be able to score at least 45 against this Kent State defense. Toledo might be able to cover this number by themselves. I mean, we just need 52. I'm not asking for the world here. Just give me 52. That's it. All right, I think final score prediction, Toledo 44, Kent State 17. We hit our over 51.5. All right, and the bets I almost made but couldn't really do. I almost took the chips of Central Michigan plus 3.5 on the road at Bowling Green. I just couldn't take it. Bowling Green looked really, really good in that second half of the Toledo game. If you throw away the first half, they look like a team who could go and win the MAC. So couldn't do it. Next one, Clemson minus 8.5. Their most recent games are against UNC and Boston College. This is the toughest team they've played since their bye week. They're going to need to show me they can beat a good team at home instead of absolutely destroying the two worst teams in the ACC. Then finally, Texas Tech on the road at Arizona State. I am unsure if Arizona State's quarterback Levitt is going to play. If he plays, I will take the Sun Devils. If he doesn't play, I will be on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. All right, that is going to do it for me in this video. I'm going to give you a quick live score update of what Liberty's doing, because why not? Liberty, it's 3-0. That's pretty boring. All right, appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.